Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WEC LAN finals. We're not live in China. We are here remotely at the studio. I've got my buddy here. This is Munchkin. And I'm also joined in spirit by my other buddy, Winter. Winter, we're going to cast LGD versus Cloud9. New rosters for both. You ready? You there? Winter? Well, no Winter yet, but the draft is underway. We'll hop into it.
Stop. I'm here.
Yep. What up? You want to cast? Want to cast some Dota, man?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. LGD versus Cloud9. Bans have begun, and well, say goodbye to the cat for now. But into the draft we will go.
10 seconds remaining.
And it's a Lycan ban, Doom, Shaman. Doom does get banned in the first phase, though. It's a hero that's been was entirely ignored in the last series, I believe.
Reserve time.
You do not ignore when you're doomed. I mean, I tried my best.
You got to put more feeling into it, Winter. Oh, it was good. It was good.
But it's like sometimes I feel that hero is like the more you play against it, the better you get with dealing with it. And like I mentioned, like they had Centaur, so Centaur is a good way to deal with the Doom. And there's a lot of weaknesses that Doom has early on. Yes, he needs a lot of space as an offlaner and stuff like that. And if you're getting pushed down, then it becomes hard for your team to get that space for you. So sometimes Doom isn't gonna do too well in a game. It's just like basically the thing that doesn't change is his ultimate that deletes one of your hero out of the game, or for that matter for that fight, deletes the hero for that fight, and you're 4v5 off the bat. But there are always a few heroes that does well, like Wraith King, Death Prophet, Razor. If you get your spells off already, you don't really care if you get Doom.
Yeah, and they also tend to build tanky, which really matches up well against him. So case, we will see the Razor first pick. It's been largely banned in the first stage so far, at least in the series we saw. Curious to see how LGD looks to reply to this, but
I think this hero is like very good in a lot of strategies and very good in the lane, so very easy to shift your strategies around that hero.
Yeah,
a lot of teams just open with Razor.
It's a very versatile opening, right? Like you can go for more of a late game lineup if you want, get the offlane Void, and just play a bit greedier potentially, or you can go for more early aggression, do more of a 5-man pushing lineup. It's a very flexible opening, and
Bat Rider against Razor.
We'll see a quick Bat Rider reply, but yeah, you go in for the Blink Lasso, and you're not really taking him away very quickly.
Because of the passive, yeah. If you don't have a BKB, you're not pulling him away very quickly. But yeah, he's still like a hero that is generally still good, but very weak at the start of the game now for Bat Rider, because you don't farm as fast as before, and your laning space is, I would say, horrible. But there's still gonna be the Void in the pool though. So like you mentioned, the Razor plus Void is definitely a good way of playing the Razor, getting the Razor to be greedy. With the Void, both of you take more farm and you just carry into late game.
Yeah, and it's not like it's that weak early game either. The laning for the Void is still very strong, and Razor can win most 1v1 matchups, so at least break even. So
let me think if anyone actually beats Razor. The last time I actually had this discussion with a friend that we couldn't come into a conclusion that anyone actually beats Razor properly, except for something like a Brood.
Yeah, Brood would probably beat Razor. But then you have a Brood on your team.
Yeah, I get what you mean. You have a useless hero.
We say that. I know Bulldog really wanted to make the hero work when they reworked her, but then they made the new change where if you have vision, well, it's not that new at this point. Then she can't move. She can't move through trees.
No, it's like if you get damage, then you can't move for free. They change it.
Okay, they changed it again. Well,
so if you take damage, you can't move.
That's even worse, honestly. But now the Viper pick from Cloud9, so they get the double beefy frontline. Well, they can be frontline, but they are ranged.
Yeah, Viper is like a signature Feta hero, right? You get a mech on Viper.
This is just like a sieging lineup right now. I feel like you have to run. You don't want to be close to the Razor, but the Viper's also going to keep you at distance. I mean, no matter where you are, they're just two beefy frontline pushers that they can sit back and let you initiate on them, soak up the damage, turn the fights. They can go pretty late. They can take the game in the mid. And it's another lasso target as well. So, two heroes already that they have to worry about. But pretty unusual to see a team open this way, to be honest.
Let me say something, you know, LD. If I'm the Skyraf, I'm playing support, I wouldn't want to drop my spells on Razor or Viper.
Yeah, not unless you're really far ahead.
Man,
Man, I'm
Because,
taking damage from everything,
yeah.
and I'm not killing them.
You're taking damage, and then they probably pop their magic wand, turn around, and just kill you. So, it's a tough time here that that Cloud9 could have ahead of them. They'll ban Naga as we
10
finish up the second phase of
remaining.
bans. Visage was also removed. It was a
That's
double
really-
ranged heroes opening, and it
Yeah,
could
that's
be...
that's really
remaining.
weird though. LD
Yeah.
to ban out the Naga. I don't know. LGD doesn't really
Reserve time.
play Naga. I mean the new LGD.
Yeah, Sylar never ran it for Vici. He'd play a decent amount of Morphling, some Weaver, sometimes here's like Invoker, but we never really saw him play anything like a Naga.
I mean, it's because of VG's playstyle, right? Naga is the
Turn to pick.
Dodgerino hero. VG is like, I come to your front door, I knock on your door, I say hi, I take your base.
Well, Void Band is the last ban, and C9 do need a lot of crowd control here from their offlaner, is obviously going Razor Viper. They get nothing really from those two, so...
Clockwork maybe a puck would be good for them if they want to push early. Or maybe even a Fuриan would give them a lot of creeps. So LGD is going to go for like the lane dominance with the Lich. It's going to give one lane a lot of advantage. I mean, it's going to be a 2-1-2 obviously. Most likely, like when you have Skyruff and Lich, it's like the way you run these two supports. Skyruff is very good. They're actually good at doing the same thing. They're both good at sitting in a lane and just pushing the lone guy out. Lich is a bit different because he helps the offlaner. He helps your offlaner pull the wave back and you deny XP from the enemy lanes. Scaraf is like you sit and harass, but they're both essentially doing the same thing. They win you the lane.
Yeah, one wins through defense, the other through offense, I guess you would say. But
5
they both win the
seconds
lane either
remaining.
way.
Nice, very well said.
Well, or maybe economy rather than defense, but either way.
Reserve
C9
time.
will go for their third pick. I don't know. I don't think Razor Viper has ever been picked 1-2 in a draft. At least not
Nope.
that I've heard of.
I don't think I've seen that much of, but it's like good heroes, man. To be honest, like both is very good at this meta. At the current meta, is fits in a lot of situations. Oh, I like this hero.
Is this the AUI 2000
I
Warlock?
seriously like this hero, and the way I feel the way you play it, you max the upheaval first.
Cloud9's
Seriously,
turn
you
to
max
pick.
the upheaval first. Imagine
You've been talking to Curtis Ling.
No, I've not been talking to Curtis Ling.
Oh, please, Winter.
I don't even have him on my Steam.
That's such a lie. You guys talk all the time.
No, I don't. You can ask him after the game. Seriously.
No, I
It's
believe you. I'm
just
kidding.
I saw their games and I know some of the teams have been playing with max upheaval, and I saw a video by Slasher talking about
10
how he feels
seconds
Warlock should
remaining.
max upheaval. Then I just tried it, and I think it's
5
much better.
seconds remaining.
even though if you talk about damage fatal bonds, it's like if you bond like theoretically if you bond 3 heroes at least you
Reserve time.
insta win the team fight because of how much damage you're dealing, but in practice it's much difficult compared to casting an upheaval.
I feel like it's a lot stronger when you've something that you're doing to punish them during that time, and I guess Razor Viper kind of fit the bill. It gives you more time to steal damage,
Yeah.
stacks with the Viper slow, and it means
I like-
your ultimate's hitting them
I
for sure.
like the Elder Titan as well. It's like you slow them, Elder Titan drops
Also
his
good versus
whatever.
the Morphling.
Yeah, drop his stomp. Yeah, it's also good against Morphling, and you just
10
land your
seconds
ultimate much
remaining.
easier with the upheaval slow.
5
a good combination.
seconds remaining.
The only bad thing here for C9, they have one stun, and it's Warlock ultimate. That's
Cloud
I guess you have the
we've-
stomp, but you
turn
can't
to
really count on
ban.
that versus
We've
Morphling.
been looking at drafts, a lot of drafts that has no stuns, but they still work.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there was a time where if a team didn't pick disables, they would just lose to a Morphling or a Weaver.
Alliance as well, they don't like to pick
10
stunners
Remember.
seconds
sometimes.
remaining.
But
Yeah, they
it
don't
can
have a
be
lot of
punished, and I
power.
think Morphling's one of the best heroes to do it, so...
Oh, the
LGD
Brew is actually still in the
turn
pool,
to pick.
last ban.
Yeah, that could suit LGD well here. Oftentimes, though, when we saw Vici run Morph, it would be a dual lane mid-Morph, especially with the
Man.
Lich, so...
You know, if I'm looking at LGD's lineup, I'm wishing we actually have a centaur because of the slows they have.
Yeah, that's true. They have very few stuns and a lot of
Man.
slow, so...
The ban is really good. Actually, the ban, I'm taking more towards the
10
ban.
seconds remaining.
Why did they ban Centaur and Naga? Naga is basically also another way of counter. You drop
5
golems,
seconds
you upheaval,
remaining.
he songs, and the whole team just escapes. That's basically the logic reason of the
Reserve time.
Centaur and the Naga ban here, because they were already planning to use this strat. That was actually really good way of... Man, the bans were really good for this strat. They took out the stuff that actually counters what they're picking very well.
And it's definitely not a super common opening. Nick, you see Razor Viper, you're not like, oh, okay, this is like Cloud9's gonna go for their Warlock strat, but LGD say you don't want to pick disables, we're going to punish you. We go for 2 very mobile carries, and maybe you shut down one, but good luck shutting them down both. So they're going to be looking to win the lanes and then just like keep away in the mid game.
Yeah, they have fire and ice and water. They want
Lion.
Right?
They've got all the elements here. No earth though, and no heart, I suppose. Lich certainly doesn't have one.
Skyrath is like the wind.
There's your disables, I suppose. They get Hex, they get Impale.
That's... Yeah, mana drain for the Morphling illusion.
It's an acceptable amount of disable. It's still a little bit light, but a lot of it just comes down to the Lion play of this game. And well, interesting to see how they lane this. Looks like it'll be the Viper mid for Fada. I have not actually gotten to see Cloud9 with their new roster, but I'm curious. Have you watched them, Winter? How do you feel like he's fitting in with the team so far?
I can't remember. I think I watched one game where I think only one game. I didn't really see all of it because the games always start so late my time. But it's going to be probably Elder Titan off lane, safe lane Razor with the Warlock. Warlock is definitely 100% support. I seen them use this strat the last time. It was always Warlock support. They don't do it like MVP, where MVP plays in as core, safe lane, and they actually play it very differently. They max Fatal Bonds first. They get Fatal Bonds first instead of the upheaval. But you basically buy the same items, it's just a different way of playing. Because it's a support Warlock, you don't have items, you're afraid of dying, so you want to have upheaval so you can stay behind your team and just cast the spell, since its range is very far.
Well, with that, we introduce the game now. It's LGD versus Cloud9, best of 3. I believe winner plays the winner of the other match going on right now, which is Na'Vi versus lgd.cdec. You can check that one out at twitch.tv/BeyondTheSummit2. But we'll be covering this one for y'all. And, well, as Game 1 gets underway, we can introduce the teams. LGD, brand spanking new roster. In July, we'll be on the Batrider. Faith, the formerly of IG, on the Skyrath Mage. You've got MMY from DK playing the Lich. And we might have an early skirmish as Pylai Die isn't through the front, looking for the opening, and they go with the concussive shot. They can wave over the top on a Pylai Die. They'll do so now. The Spirit walks through, but there's no aura at level 1, so it's not that scary. They bring them low. Haven't gotten the kill yet. He is starting to hit pretty hard, though. And Bone7 with one more right click could find that retaliation kill. Yao dropping low. Will tick down to the poison. Injuly also in a bit of trouble, but Sylar waves over the top. Makes his way out. And it looks like, due to lack of stuns, it will be a 1-for-1. And I suppose a win for LGD with the first blood, but Injuly is very low, and he's going to have to go heal.
They win, but the Lich didn't have Dark Ritual because of that.
Yes,
so
that's true.
That's actually a huge blow.
Well,
if they didn't get more kills, then it's really... I don't know how you justify this. It's a huge difference not having Dark Ritual at level 1. I mean Sacrifice. I keep calling it Dark Ritual.
Well, oh, he doesn't even get the regen for it. That goes the way of Eternal Envy. Oh, that sucks.
That sucks really bad.
Alright.
I think he's gonna go top lane to get some XP, since he's now no longer useful at the bottom lane.
So to finish introducing LGD, the only player from the roster they had at TA4, I believe, that's left is Yao. He'll be playing your Ember, and I think I caught everyone else. You've got Sylar, of course, also formerly of Vici on the Morph lane. And on the side of Cloud9, a solo mid Elder Titan, last seen being played by Bulba like 8 months ago, I believe. Bone7 will be handling that one. AUI 2000 going top is the Warlock. Fata will be handling the Viper. It puts Pylai Die on the line, and then Eternal Envy, His Highness himself, or His Holiness himself, on the Razor.
They actually put their lanes. I mean, this lanes is actually very good for C9 because they were expecting a 2-1-2 right from the get-go. So they were expecting top lane is a Skyrath and Morphling or Ember. So the Viper at top will actually be able to pressure whoever is there, regardless, a lot. So this laning decision by C9 I like a lot. It's very good for limiting the farm whoever goes top.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a lot of harassment that C9's throwing out. Just with the Warlock right clicks, the Fatal Bonds will be coming soon if he wants to skill that, and you're up against Viper with a melee carry.
I think he's not gonna go Fatal Bonds though. I mean, usually he goes for the upheaval level 2.
Fada's on the back foot though. They're chasing him down. Hey, you might not have Dark Ritual, but this also means the Lich can roam, something he normally doesn't do. They can go a little bit farther for Searing Chains, but don't really have the follow-up damage to get that second kill. Hey, the roaming Lich, man. It's definitely not something you expect, so they at least have the element of surprise here.
Element of surprise, roaming Lich.
Wow. And good news, the mid lane's actually going pretty well. The no Lich here, and Sylar he's doing well farming, but Bone7 is keeping up, and generally when we see Sylar's Morphlane, he just gets absolute free farm every game, and nobody can lane against him because he has the Lich backing him up, but not the case here.
Yeah, this game I think he might have to adjust his item selection, maybe include a assault cuirass. Otherwise, he's gonna get hard countered by the Elder Titan a lot. He needs to get something else.
They do a frost armor. That's the one thing they'll have to deal with
okay.
that Elder Titan aura.
Frost armor, yeah, that's decent. It's quite good.
But I mean, it's also where just the Ring of Aquila becomes extra valuable as well. So I imagine we'll see that. Top lane, yeah, wants to go. He does have Flame Guard up. He also has Searing Chains. It's level 2, and it's enough to bring down AUI 2000. And Winter, you talked about the strengths of Warlock, but one of his weaknesses is just that if he's up against this kind of early aggression, he generally just doesn't offer you much in the lane.
Yeah, he was expecting. The thing is, they were expecting 2 heroes at top only, and now it's like 3. So the Warlock becomes very redundant at top, because if he goes on the Viper, he goes on you, then what you're gonna do? You don't have stun, you don't have anything, you just drop a heal on the Viper if he goes on the Viper, that's all.
Meanwhile, Injuly has abandoned that bottom lane and will focus on stacking up the jungle. Already has a, I believe it's a quad stack now, and has hit level 2. He'll stack up the Napalm, and this will give him a lot of golden experience.
Yeah, this is actually still okay for C9, because they totally abandoned the bottom lane to do this for LGD, so LGD is paying a price to actually get kills at top. No one is at bottom, so C9 has to just pressure the tower as much as possible. So you see Envy activating his Basilisk aura. They're gonna get ready to damage the tower now.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's a Razor who can be scary with the farm, but isn't the worst hero to give farm to.
Yeah, it's something like you don't, as an enemy, if your opponent is doing a safe lane Razor, you don't like, oh crap, that guy is getting free farm, we are worried. It's not like something like
it's not like a Spectre or something.
Yeah, Spectre or Naga or like Void, you just die later, but Razor is just like, okay, we can deal with him later.
If we're getting a good trade, which overall they're getting a pretty good trade, but I still have to just keep my eyes on Bone 7. He's really holding his own mid, 20 and 3. It's not many heroes who can keep up in CS with a Morph lane, especially when there's the occasional threat of a Lich coming to this lane, but he's actually headed top again.
Yeah, I mean,
and C9 are out too far.
Top lane.
Yeah, they go in now. It's only a level 1 Nova, but I think it's going to be enough anyway. In comes Yao. He doesn't connect on a Searing Chains combo, though, and that means that AUI makes his way out. In fact, Fado wants to turn, but can't quite get the kill.
How did he actually miss that? Didn't expect him to miss.
I think it might have bounced to the wrong creep. Like, it bounced to a creep that was too far away from him, but I don't know. The timing was off.
That was a very, like, I think they smoked for that as well. That was crucial to get that kill. But like you mentioned, the Lich is not middle, so the morphing is not totally wrecking the lane. You see Elder Titan having decent last hits as well. It's 24, morphing is 28 now.
Yeah, but
bottom lane, they got the Bat Rider.
Can they bring him down? He doesn't have Firefly. Already used it to farm the enemy wood. And with Plasma Field here, they can almost kill him, but just not quite.
He couldn't get the last right click off.
That extra armor from the Tranquil Boots may be making the difference there.
Yeah, definitely. And Envy doesn't have Phase Boots. I think if he has Phase Boots, he would have got that kill. He has Shreds instead of Phase Boots.
Do you prefer the phase in general, or do you think it's just situational?
Not really though. Both is good for the game. I mean, Power Trades gives Razor more HP, and Razor needs the attack speed as well when you are man fighting someone.
Yeah, he already has a way to get a bunch of damage, but he doesn't really have a way to increase his attack speed too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, both item selections is like really good for Razor in general. There's no like one boots that's much better than the other one. It's just preference of players.
Well, the one thing C9 are doing, though, is just denying the runes to Sylar. He heads towards bottom. He really wanted to pick that up, but
top lane, they're gonna get
it.
surrounded again. Top lane.
It's not often you see a Lich in a game and you're like constantly expecting ganks, but MMY, Momo, yeah, it's similar to his Lion Winter. Like Lion is, you know, a while ago I'd say most people looked at him as just kind of more of a strong mid-game support, someone who needs his levels and doesn't do too much, but he's all over the place online, even from the very early late stage. And, well, now they're diving in top lane. Shandafonta dropping the full triple Remnant combo and getting maximum damage out. They will find the kill. Meanwhile, bottom in July, retreating through the trees, but to be careful. He gets hexed up. Pylai die, though. Very slow, and doesn't actually have mana for the stun.
Oh,
he had a stick charge, but oh, it's too late. He's dead, and he gives Sylar a freebie. Does force the rotation out of the Morphling, though, which gives Bone 7 an open lane, and LGD, overall, it looked like an awkward start with the Lich not skilling Sacrifice at level 1 and losing a ton of health on their bat, but they have recovered admirably since then.
Yeah, it's gonna be coming down to like when the Warlock gets Golem. I think C9 is still 5 minutes because they're getting, or all their lanes are still getting alright farm. See, if you look at everyone. So when the first fight comes with the Warlock Golem, if they can control and win that fight, I think they are content with giving a lot of space to the Morphling now. It doesn't really matter if the Morphling farms a lot in the laning phase. If they have the Golem and they win the first fight and they just control the map, after that it's just gonna be snowballing from there.
Snowballing in 5-manning, which this whole lineup excels at. Lots of crowd control for team fights with the Warlock Ultimate and Upheaval, which is already level 2. And like you suggested, he's going to skip Fatal Bonds for now, but I imagine he'll go back for it after the 2 points in Shadow Word and the Upheaval max. And
upheaval, I think he just, yeah, like you said, max Upheaval just at level 7, you have 4 Upheaval, 2 heal.
yeah, but he doesn't max the Shadow Word, right? He just gets the 2 points.
No, I think you max the Upheaval right now because the heal is like, it doesn't do so much for the team in a team fight. Obviously, you want the Upheaval to be maxed out as soon as possible as a support.
And the other thing is, C9's 5-man it's not just that they have good heroes for it, but like the synergy is really there. You've got 2 heroes that want your opponents to be stuck in the same position for a while, Razor and Viper. So the Viper can just keep on stacking up the poison, the Razor can steal more damage. You've got Upheaval to slow them down, Fatal Bonds later on in combination with the Astral Spirit. That's a ton of bonus AoE damage, effectively AoE. And I feel like C9 could still deathball it, even with a good start from LGD, so...
Yeah, definitely. They have like very good 5-man. Their 5-man is for sure. Like, how often do you get to say some Western team has better 5-man than a Chinese team? You don't say.
On paper they do. Let's see if they have it in practice.
Look at the gang from the bat. He doesn't have a dagger, but this is a good spot. He can actually get the Viper by the trees. Yeah,
oh, he wants him. The concussive shot will get them the range for this. AUI's already here. Can look to heal him. Unfortunately, it's too much burst. Down AUI, or down Fada will go. AUI now turns with the upheaval. Starts to slow too, but there's nothing to follow this up. And the Impale's just a bit too late.
Oh, look at that slow.
It's really strong though. And July just grinds to a halt, but it's like upheaval, and there's got to be something else there beyond the upheaval.
Oh, look at the Razor. He's gonna chase down in July.
Flame Break's not quite enough to get him to safety, and Envy turns around, worried about more rotations, but might have been able to get that kill. At the same time, Sylar will force him off the fight.
Yeah, I think if he died for that kill, he would have traded his life regardless. He's gonna die. He tried to kill.
Yeah, and he's getting close to that first big item. 1,600 gold up. And I imagine we may see him be the mech builder just because he's having a much better start.
Oh, middle lane, Sylar! He got caught out. Do they have enough damage actually to kill him?
He's got strength more. They need to do a lot more than this. But he's slowed in the people. Again, slowed, but they just don't have the damage.
Yeah, if Viper was level 6, probably they would have gotten that kill. Probably.
Yeah. Well,
because he doesn't have replicate.
At the same time, it might be a dangerous one because MMY is 3 experience away from Chain Frost. And he's lurking. And as soon as he gets that next creep, any dives can be punished.
Yeah, Razor completes the drums. So the mech would be the mech is definitely on Fata. Fata builds that item all the time. So Razor will be their like damage item dealer, drums are killer. You see RTZ doing this a lot as well. He always goes for the treads with this build because you deal more damage if you're standing on the same place right clicking. That's why he didn't go for the phase boots. They usually build into the axe after the Aquila and drums.
And you still do get a decent amount of move speed with the drum, so it kind of makes up for not having the phase boots, I suppose. Yeah.
It's like, it's better as like a carry role and you get more mana from the treads as well, so it definitely has its pros and cons compared to the phase boots.
And Envy is farming. He has 78 CS at 11 minutes, 7 CS a minute. Pretty much perfect. Like, you won't see better than that very often. Unless someone's being gifted huge stacks of creeps at this stage of the game, and Envy he's had free farm in the lane, but his supports have not been giving him too much attention.
Yeah, I think the most I've ever seen is like at 13 minutes you have 80 plus or 90 because of jungle. You get stacks on, and you're supposed to stacking and you just farm everything.
Another smoke from LGD. In July, leading the way, MMY.
Yeah, he has his blink now. This is gonna be a great kill if they get the kill on Envy. Envy is the one with the biggest net worth now.
And they are waiting for him. They're trying to bait him in a bit deeper to the jungle, though. He doesn't know he's being baited. Because the shot comes through, the Scarlet Mage ult's right there. And they hold Envy in position with the lasso, and it's a nice, easy, clean kill for LGD. I say that clean, but they took a lot of damage from that plasma field.
Yeah, they took a lot of damage for sure, but regardless, it's the highest net worth kill there. It's very important for them to secure that kill. Got them a lot of experience.
At the same time, the Astral Spirit does force one back to the fountain, and MMY, he's almost got to walk there himself. He's so low. Which, in that sense, you get the kill, but two heroes are basically out of the game for a minute and a half or so. So it was an expensive kill, but like you said, Envy's very farmed, and until that point, he was the most farmed, but now that swings Sylar's way a bit.
Yeah, he got took over by Sylar already. And you have to remember that C9 is ahead by 1 tower. So once that equalizes, the Morphing will pull ahead even more compared to the Razor.
What do you expect, like, what do you think the timing is here for C9? Are they just, they have the Warlock ultimate, Lion's a bit underleveled, and is it just waiting for the mech and then you go, or is there anything else C9 needs?
The mech is the only thing they're gonna wait for, because that's like the only thing they lack right now. They don't really need anything else from the Razor or anyone. They just need the mech from the Viper. Then they can even go now though if they want, because they just golem, if they get a good golem and an upheaval on like multiple heroes, they just take a tower even without the mech.
C9 are making their move straight towards the middle lane. They want to go on Sylar if they can get that Hex off quickly, and he doesn't straight warp in time. He's probably going down. Didn't get it off. Easily dealt with. But the turn might come. Yao joining. Oh no, not with the Golem here. And the bad thing is, Winter, they have 4 grouped at mid, but they're fighting against the Rock and against a level 4 natural order.
They need to use Firefly to clear out this wave. The match should just go and just Firefly in front of the tower right now. I think they can't really fight though, it's very dangerous. Okay.
Well, he blinks in, he tries to drop Firefly. He didn't really get in position though.
Yeah, it's very short though, the Firefly. I don't think it's gonna do too much for them.
Well, he will Flame Break though, and then it draws the creeps into the Firefly, so crisis averted. But they still lose Sylar's Morphling. He has his Perseverance up, he's still farming pretty well. And if you're C9, you don't have the mech just yet, although it's nearly ready, but you want to go, because you've got the Warlock ultimate, and every time that's up, I feel like it's like Shadow Shaman wards. You just gotta fight every time the Rock's up.
It's the same concept, basically. You want it up, you want to use it as much as possible in one game.
Yeah, the sooner you use it in a fight, the sooner it cools down for the next fight. But
and if you're LGD, you're just trying to get the Morphing to split push one lane, and hopefully, I'm actually thinking of like maybe at this point, like the Ember shouldn't even be defending. He should be pushing out the lanes, because the ideal situation for LGD is they're using 3 heroes to fend the push or buy as much time as possible, and 2 heroes needs to be pushing the other 2 lanes. Then they are gaining something out of the 5 men from C9.
And it's a smoke from C9. They're giving them the wraparound. Pylite in the front, he's got the Hex ready, and now his Finger of Death online as well. MMY can pretty much be killed just by a single finger, but they'll actually go the other route. Don't quite get in range for the Hex, and
here comes the bat. If he gets a good kickoff.
They're spotted out though by this Spirit.
They have vision, This is a good position. He can see someone.
Yeah, I feel like C9 might have been able to turn that, but they're very close to the mech now. Only needing the recipe for the headdress.
Bone 7 has like 1.9k gold. I wonder what he's gonna build. Maybe a 4-star or a Dagon.
The Dagon 5 build? That's
yeah, I think the Dagon, like,
that's Ice's favorite build.
It's like you don't do much anyway as Elder Titan, even if you go EKB or any items. So Dagon is like the item that gives Elder Titan a lot of damage in a fight.
I also like it a lot when you've got the natural order there. It hits incredibly hard.
They're
going in. Lasso on Pylite die. He's caught out of position, but the Rock is here to turn the fight. Drops on 3 or 4. It's forcing LGD off of it. They do lose a couple though, and the Chain Frost bounces nicely to the Golem, kills it off, keeps them bouncy, but nobody's actually dying to this. Just brought low, not finished off, and they end up losing 3 in the end. The power of Cloud9's 5-man team fight. But
yeah, by the way, before that fight, Bone 7 bought a miner himself. That's interesting.
Hey man, he's the one who started it with Darkseer, so I suppose it's not too surprising, but I feel like that's still okay for LGD. They had to use the Rock, and they didn't kill the cores. Sylar lives.
Yeah, it was a really good awareness by Faith as well. He stopped the Warlock channeling. Was it him? I can't remember. One of them stopped it. Like when he started casting his upheaval, one of them stopped the channeling, and it was really important for them to get. It's just like a little thing like Witch Doctor suddenly drops his ultimate, and nobody stuns him, and suddenly midway to the fight, you realize that he's channeling him. He's just raping everyone in the team fight doing a lot of damage. It's just like upheaval. Upheaval will have the same type of effect if you don't stop him.
Radiant's top
Yeah,
tower is
earlier
under
we
attack.
saw that upheaval doesn't do much without the follow-up, but when the Warlock ult's there and there's mass nukes flying out, natural order on top of it all, then you gotta worry. And
Yeah.
it just wasn't there for the fight. And
He's gonna get his point booster now.
It feels like it's still LGD's tempo though, Winter, because C9 haven't taken towers yet. They used their Warlock ult to get a 3-for-2 trade, and they didn't get cores. I think LGD are pretty happy with the state of the game right now.
If they can get a pick off here, because Warlock doesn't have golems, if they can get a crucial pick off here, it will be really important to slow down the next push. They probably would get somebody if the Razor comes here, if they wait for the Razor. They might actually get the Razor. Oh no, he actually went up.
Yeah, and meanwhile, in July was looking for the other Titan, but they won't find him. Back to farming, I suppose.
Oh, he's gonna get stuck.
Well, who's caught whom here? Pylai suddenly realizes he doesn't have backup. But backup is coming. And Yao wants to join him with these phase boots. Moves in quickly, but they don't have the rest of the team, and they're just stalling the game and spreading the map. Sylar's getting time to farm. He's now almost 1,000 gold up on Eternal Envy, and still we've yet to see Cloud9 take a single tower, aside from that bottom tier 1, but that was against an empty lane, so I feel like it hardly counts.
Yeah, this is what LGD needs to do. Like, it's just perfect what they're doing now. Stalling and just buying time for the Morphling to get his Lincoln Sphere as soon as possible. They're gonna TP Envy back to bottom, realizing they are taking a very, very bad trade. They're not farming their lanes as efficiently as LGD. But it's sort of like at least recovered a little because of the Midas by Bone 7. It puts his team in sort of a better position because of the Midas.
What do you think's the long-term build for him? Is it a Dagon 5 or?
It's either you go Dagon 5 or you just go like, I don't know about BKB because I think BKB, I mean it helps against all the nukes from both the supports. That's pretty good, but I'm not sure if he can actually deal enough physical damage to actually justify the BKB, because the Ember and the Morphling will be hitting him really hard.
Well, they really wanted Eternal Envy, but he's way back at the tier 2. Well, meanwhile, Pylai thinking that he wants to make a go on Sylar. Also thwarted in his efforts. Basically, nobody finding openings, but LGD are finding towers instead. Tier 1 bottom,
yeah,
about to drop.
This is their first tier 1 tower. It's about time they got something out of all the 5 men from C9.
And you know, it just feels to me like the issue for C9 is they can't just get a kill. And oftentimes when teams run pushing strats like this, they transition from a kill into a tower, but
that's the weakness of their lineup.
They have no gank.
They're very powerful. They have gank if the Lion has dagger. Getting there is the problem. Like, the plan was to take towers so that the Lion can actually get his dagger, but that's not happening. 20 minutes, 1 tower for their lineup is actually really bad for C9.
And meanwhile, they are both farming. Yao's at 6.5k net worth. He's not quite there with Sylar, but in general, the Ember can do a lot with just that first big item in a Battle Fury. He doesn't need like the 2 that a Morphling normally does. And again, Pylai tries to walk in on Sylar, but he just can't get in close enough. He's too damn slow. And now LGD make their move again bottom. Fada's also scared, and he's really hiding back.
Once they see him, he's dead.
And July still patiently waiting.
He's not gonna come out. And once he shows himself better, it's no way gonna go out now.
They are getting tanky. Ogre Club's coming out now for Eternal Envy as well as Fada's Viper. So double BKB or double Ag soon to come. Oh, in July. Oh, he blinks in, then he decides he wants to run. Force Staff, TP's out immediately. They're gonna Warlock ult for this. That's a big investment.
That was quite good for LGD. That actually turned out quite good because dropping that golem there means they can't use the golem to actually take much of an objective other than farming jungle. Maybe they just try to move him to middle to do damage to tower. That's, I think, the best they can do.
But the lane's already pushed in. Like, they don't have a creep wave here right now, so it's not going to be much of a push. Golem does have about half duration.
30 seconds more.
All top lane. Just a little harassment on Sylar. They might get... I feel like they'll get to hit the tower once or twice with the Golem, but that's about it.
At least they got something.
I think that's just to me, that's just like a frustrational. It's like, I haven't gotten to use this thing at all this game.
No, they have to use it, otherwise the bat will TP out. I mean, if you want to kill the... Oh, he's gonna give away the golem.
Oh, that's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
That's now his claymore. He only needs the broadsword to complete his battle fury.
Yeah, it's not exactly super fun, but once he has that battle fury, I mean, it's gonna be so annoying to push up against that. Now there's gonna be a gem on the bat right there, so this is a very good item to pick up, because if you are thinking about the way they are playing the game, LGD is just trying to speed up the map, so having the gem makes sure that you feel safe about your position. You know that C9 doesn't have vision on you, and you're very comfortable in speed pushing because of having the gem.
And it's just an LGD pace at this point. There's just been really no opportunity for Cloud9 to do anything but farm, and frankly, you're just not going to keep up with an Ember Morphin.
Oh, the Warlock actually built a blink. My god.
Well,
what's going on?
He just wants to be able to force the issue. Like, honestly, I feel like that's the only reason to get it. So somebody's got to jump and initiate.
Oh,
it's gonna be me. Highlight, what a bad time to get caught. He's so close to a blink.
Oh my god, he's 1.9k there.
That's a really costly death.
He's probably like, oh my god, I just freaking died when I just needed 200 gold.
And he's there, like, Blink Warlock is okay if you have the Golem for initiating,
it feels
but
like Blink Warlock is like blinking creep or something.
if you don't have if the only reason, I feel like the only way that's going to be powerful is if he has the ultimate up, and he can just get it off at the right moment.
Yeah, but
it's a pretty big AoE. Generally, you don't need that.
I mean, it's a big AoE, but it's a big cooldown. And Blink, you want to be able to use Blink as much as possible. Just like a lion getting a Blink, you can just use Blink hacks, and you don't have to wait for some big cooldown.
It's just for getting some extra vision, Winter. He's gonna blink onto a cliff, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's probably another good usage. Yeah. It's just like Witch Doctor, you can blink into the trees and just drop your ulti somewhere.
Yeah, or channel upheaval from the trees even. So.
Yeah.
I want to believe in this, but it's also just like, I don't know. By the time he could farm a bigger item, I feel like if they haven't already taken objectives, then it's not going to matter what he has.
He's never going to get a bigger item at this rate. I mean, like, for me, Warlock just needs the Acceptor. Then his job is basically done.
Well, Pilot will find a solo kill bottom. Impales, gets off a few right clicks, hexes him, and then finishes the job with the finger in the middle there. And that's what he needs, but the trade is, he's back to base, and LGD goes straight into the rush pits. They lose a Lich, but if they get an Aegis, which they will, Silas got a double damager now. It's still a fantastic win for them. And now, how do you kill this Morphin once, let alone twice? I just don't know.
They can kill him, like, not even kidding. With the amount of damage they have, if the Morphin comes to a fight with the Elder Titan, he's gonna die. He's gonna die.
Yeah, that's if he gets, like, nuked though. He could just replicate out, because they need the Lion Blink.
Yeah, they need the Lion to actually disable him.
But it's tough. For now, Eternal Envy and Fada, they've gone for a little bit of split push. Into the top tier 2.
He has his Blink now. So it's gonna be a lot easier for him to disable.
Well, that's a big kill in that sense. Courier's actually dangerously close to in July. And it's Pilot who's being hunted.
Oh, he's probably dead.
Oh, he's in trouble. He actually blinks to the south, but doesn't have a TP. So Injuly can keep on chasing him, hexes him as well. There's still a flame break, but Injuly decides to abandon the pursuit and settles just for the harassment. Well.
Oh, look at that. Oh my god.
It's such a good slow, but it's just so much scarier when you're comboing it with something.
Yeah, he actually chose to max his Shadow Word. I was thinking that he actually might leave his Shadow Word at 2. Just start to get Fatal Bonds.
I think that's what he did last time.
Oh,
Fatal Bonds is a really good spell.
And you're not gonna get so much levels on a support Warlock. So, every skill point you get is
it's precious.
Immensely important. Yeah, it's my precious, essentially.
My precious. Well, they're smoked now on LGD. Faith and in July, they'll head towards the north side of the map, hunting towards their own jungle and looking for Eternal Envy, but he's nowhere to be found. It's just Yao holding mid while C9 farms. And again, do they have this late game Winter? I feel like they can win a team fight, but it's just like, how can they stop Rat Dota? I just don't see it.
Oh no, the bat's gonna get someone.
What a bad time for Fada! He actually gets pulled out of the Scarith ult, but right into the rest of the team, so it doesn't matter anyway.
I mean, that's quite hard to coordinate sometimes, because it's very natural for the Skyrock to react that way as soon as someone gets there. So it's quite similar to Lifestealer. Sometimes you see teams doing their Lifestealer bombs, You blink in, you lasso, and then the lifesteal actually pops out before the Bat Rider lassos back, and it makes the lifesteal lose a few precious seconds to hit the target.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a natural, you know, instinct thing. You see the Bat Rider.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Unless the Bat is like yelling, "Wait, don't come out first, lifesteal, don't! I'm gonna lasso, I'm gonna force off back. Just wait."
I feel like you know things are bad though when the Lion is focused on split pushing. Twilight dies just off in the bottom lane.
This is just C9, right? If you watch their games in history in the past, it's always like one of the supports. Basically, most of the time it's like Aoi on like some Visage or some farming orientated supports. He's gonna be around somewhere lonesome pushing the map, and it's like efficiency. They are trying to use the whole map as much as possible, but at the same time putting the team at risk of getting caught because you're split up. But that's just how the way they play.
It almost seems to me, Winter, like at this point the game plan for Cloud9 is we're just gonna wait for you to force a fight because we still think we have the better 5-man. Sure, we can't catch you, but at some point you'll try to take a fight, and if we get our combo off, we can still win that one and then take objectives.
I think their combo, as soon as regardless of how much HP you have, if they get a good combo off with Elder Titan and Fatal Bonds, you're just screwed. Basically screwed. You're gonna lose the fight no matter what happens.
How do you feel about this Elder Titan build, by the way? He's skipped his ultimate entirely. And leveling up Echo Stomp.
I think it's also actually fine though. Sometimes I just leave it at 1 point because I barely get to use the ultimate as the Elder Titan. I just leave it at 1 point, but I just get it just in case. I don't want to be like, oh crap, my teammate just gets some huge ass combo off and then I don't have my ultimate to, you know, I just don't want that to happen, so I just leave it at 1 point.
Twilight Eye's going in, they'll find MMY, and they do get the kill quickly on the Lich, but now Eternal Enemy's held in position. Didn't pop his ultimate in time, the backup is on the way. Sylar focusing on Twilight Eye, now Envy makes the retreat. Will they be able to lock him down? They do! Perfect combo from Yao. Nails him with the Sleight of Fist here in chains, and down Envy goes. Cloud9 just bit off more than they can chew, and a Lion for Lich is fine, but losing a Razor there as well, not a good trade.
They can't even hit the tower at middle.
No, but LGD can. They're coming down mid. They'll try and slow down Sylar, but he's got shotgun up. Still has the Aegis. I think a minute or two left on that one. Around 2 minutes or so.
Oh, that's slow. This is one of the few usages.
He's waving forward just to get past the upheaval and make his way out. It seems almost as annoying to push into his Midnight Pulse, honestly. Doesn't do damage, but...
imagine you have both at the same time. Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's tried that before.
I'm gonna try it later.
That sounds really annoying. Even if you didn't win, just to troll.
It's just like, look at that.
Where do you think you're going? And Sylar's the... what I feel like I've seen this movie a billion times, Winter. Once again, doesn't have the best laning stage, but still in the mid game. Inevitably, most farmed, has an Aegis, has another 2 big items, close to the 3rd, and just hasn't been pressured the entire game, really. 5-1 and 3. The team has just made so much room for him.
Yeah, his team made so much space for him. Like, they got so many pickups, especially the Bat Rider. He was, controlling the tempo really well for his team, and everyone was moving accordingly. Apart from some small pickups like the Lich dying somewhere or someone getting called out, I think like the whole game was like built perfectly for the Morphing to thrive and just keep farming and speed pushing. Now C9 forces a push, a smoke gank with their Hex. He just bought a Hex on the Elder Titan, not Dagon.
But look at the position of Yao here. Tucked away in the trees, he almost reveals the smoke. They end up just getting cold feet and backing off right when they're about to go in range of him, but they still don't find anyone.
He knows something is up because you don't see anyone on the map. If you can look at Sylar's positioning, he was also hiding before they saw something. Like the ward here actually made them see a few heroes. That's why Sylar actually came out of the hiding spot. But now they're gonna try, at least they need to get at least 1 more tower. But I think if I'm LGD now, I just try to drop some spells. If I'm the Ember,
they want to defend Winter.
Oh, they want to defend. Okay.
They want to fight. They're not afraid of C9. And they're going to look to force the issue. Yao's got a haste. He's ready to jump in and he'll try and slow this push down a bit. But he does get Blink Hex. Twilight Eye silence before he can follow this one up. Then Sylar comes in with a BKB. Shotguns AUI can't finish him off. He did get off the Warlock ultimate in time. And now they're turning on him. They need more lockdown for this fight, but they can't quite find it. So in July, with his lasso into the fray, just has to end up sacrificing his own life for the greater good. Envy finds another kill. And on the backside of play, Viper will also clean up MMY. Fada looking for another kill.
Close.
No, Sylar just a bit too late. But Yao's on the chase. He's waited
gonna
patiently
get
with his
one more.
haster, and he'll definitely get AUI here. One more right click, down he goes. A clean 3 for 3, but once again, the 2 cores live for LGD, and it seems like the lack of lockdown is really going to cost them if this game goes on much longer.
That was really, really ballsy by LGD. I didn't expect them to have so much courage to take that fight because like FC9 for sure had a better team fight lineup, but LGD barely actually won that team fight. I mean, I think I would consider they won because all the 2 important heroes didn't win, even though it was 3 for 3.
Yeah, and once again, Yao and Sylar just don't die. And Sylar picked up a completed BKB, now he's got another 900 gold. Yao pretty much has the data list, already has the gold for the Demon Edge, the recipe, still not ready, and we're also seeing another BKB well underway, so not long before the bat, I think those are in July, before he can just blink in BKB and force out a Warlock ult if you want to prevent him from getting the lasso off.
Oh, this is like Mushi. Every time he drops his items and then you have no idea where is his net worth. It doesn't count, right, if it's on the floor. Does it count?
No, it does not count. I believe it does not count as your net worth. If it's in your
so
stash, it does, though? Is that, I think
let me
right.
see, this is 2.24k. Is this... Oh yeah, it actually doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. But, I mean, it doesn't matter for your opponents. It only makes life hard for the spectators if they're not checking the fountain. K-Pop is shaking his head. At how long it took you to do that math, Winter.
Sorry, I suck.
I thought you were... he's claiming that's not why he was shaking his head, but I don't buy it. So they defend this one as well. This time no Aegis, and yet still LGD seem like they want to take the fight. Ember going in once again to start off. Pylite that was waiting for him, but gets silenced. Beautifully done by Faith, and that prevents any further aggression. Yao makes his way out and then looks for a new jump. Catches out Eternal Envy with the chains, but they just want to chip. They don't want to force this issue until the BKB's up on the bat.
Morphing to the tower.
Yeah, meanwhile Sylar. That's basically the story of this game after the first 10 minutes. And probably the story of Sylar's career over the past year and a half. Meanwhile, Sylar. Fly and Fenrir create the space.
He actually used to be. Meanwhile, Burning is farming up a stop.
Yeah. It does feel like Sylar has just really grown as a carry player a lot since... you remember, like... You remember after TI2 where LGD kind of fell short, a little flat in the playoffs, and ended up settling for 3rd after the undefeated run. They were a little bit lost in the Shao 8 days after then and struggled heading into TI3. They lost the game to Liquid. And there was actually one moment in that series where Sylar got caught out, and like he never got caught prior to that.
I remember the
It was
situation.
versus Bulba's Clockwork.
Was it here? Was it here where he actually went in as Alchemist and stunned and he died?
I think it was on the top lane, like over here.
Oh, the one that was getting rocket.
Okay, might have been 2 times in one game, but I feel that to me was like, okay, Sylar's still a slightly younger player, but I think he can still grow into it. You never know for sure. But,
you know, I actually think that statement.
Aegis?
I actually think that statement is like he's still a young player. I just want to say.
But it seems like he's matured a lot overall in his decision making. He's still young, but
I mean, young as in his age.
Yes, yes. But I feel like he's a lot more mature. He's made a much bigger growth in the past year than he did in the year before that. Anyway, as I said that, he forgot the Aegis in the well or in the Roche pit for a while.
No, I don't think he forgot. I think he was actually planning to give it to the Emperor.
The Emperor didn't want it, I guess, but they won Fada. It's just this lasso, man.
I mean, this game is like close to almost very hard for C9 to take a 5v5 fight already. If you can't even win a 5v5 fight like just now, you only manage barely to get it 3 for 3. It's gonna show that your lineup is already weakening severely throughout the game.
Well, this is where Cloud9 have the best chance of landing their combo, though. If LGD pushes into that region, they are going to be walking into everything. So if LGD are to win a fight, that's got to be where they win it. But they're not ready for that next round of pushing.
Here comes the Batman. Batman has Gem. Batman has Invis.
Well, BKB was popped, and Eternal Envy will make his way out, but not so lucky as Highlight Die roaring in and then pushing out the Flame Break right as he arrives. Really nice combination by July. We'll prevent that TP out and get the kill. Envy made it out, but it's just like there's no game plan at this point for C9. I don't even know if they can win a 5-man fight.
I don't think you should say there's no game plan. It's just their game plan is already very difficult to execute because the timing window is already over for
There's
their
no
lineup.
game plan that would work at this point, basically. Like, there's nothing to
Yeah,
do.
they can only. I feel they can only try to just farm, and hopefully take like you said. Hopefully when LGD pushes and you wipe them, that's their best shot. But if you're thinking about that in that sense, if LGD like wants to be entirely safe, they just continuously pushing and catching. And talk about catching data, can get like
So
for the
much for
fifth
farming.
time. Yeah, that's like for the 5th time this game. I don't know how many times.
He's gotten caught a lot, but we do tend to see this. It's called Bat Rider syndrome, and
Yeah,
it's a very
Bat Rider.
common illness.
You cannot see what is coming from the sky, and you just die.
I guess you're happy to see your favorite hero doing well, Winter.
Yeah, he's playing very like the Bat Rider very well. Like, and there's one more thing that adds to the success of this game is like teams have not been playing against Bat Rider for a long time. So you get you kind of like, oh, forget that the Bat Rider can come from this direction, the Bat Rider can come from that direction. When Bat Rider is popping out every single game, every game is like, oh, Bat Rider is missing, Bat Rider is missing. Instantly you alternate, click on the Bat Rider profile, Bat Rider missing, and your team's like, okay, this guy might be coming from left, might be coming from right. But when you haven't played against the hero for a long time, you forget that he can actually catch you in that position.
You know, the one team that's been running him a lot in the West is Navi. Funnick has been playing a lot of Bat Rider recently.
Yeah, because they are the single target team. Like they like bench, Bane, Bat Rider. Like their new draft those heroes, the bench.
Well, Envy, he's trying to man up against Tyler here. Does get the tower with his ultimate, and in the end lives. But it is going to be the Dagon Winter. I guess they're pinning their hopes on just blowing up the Morphling and impaling him upon his own shotgun.
Yeah, I was thinking he actually go for just Dagon and probably a Veil or something. I didn't expect the Hex though, but I understand why he gets the Hex because they need the Hex for the Ember and you know the Morphling at the same time. But it feels like they don't have enough burst to actually kill because they are so mobile. They just get out of sticky situations so quickly that you need more burst to be able to lock them down when the Lion actually stuns or Hex them. But at the same time, if they have another sort of stun, a disable like the Hex on the Elder Titan, you make life for Palida a lot easier.
Yeah, every time he's blinked in, it's like he gets off the Hex, and then instantly Faith just silences him. Doesn't get off the Impale, can't finger, and the fight
like
turns.
The Skyraf, if he looks at the C9's hero, okay, I just need to tunnel vision on the 2 supports. If I can silence the Warlock before he drops a rock, or silence the Lion when he's doing mid combo, like when he just drops a Impale before he drops his next 2 spells, I silence him and we win the fight.
Well, it sounds clinical, Winter, but it seems that way right now for LGD.
I mean, it's a Chinese team. You always expect a Chinese team to be every single on point.
They've been real solid so far.
Yeah, they are. I wouldn't deny it. I agree. Bat Rider and everyone. The whole team is basically playing like the game plan was.
How do you think they compare to Vici? I actually think LGD looks a lot more like solid overall than them
more
right
solid,
now.
for sure. But VG's strategy is like they have a good strat. It's like the same TI strat they have. It's just they've been making more mistakes compared to LGD. If you just look at this game, LGD have been playing the game plan well. Not much strategical. Everything is perfect except for like one because it happens, you know. All these small little things. You can't really play a perfect game. It's so hard, but they've been playing it very well on the sense of the way the draft and the position of them in being in the game and everything, like that, especially the bat.
Poor Envy, he's like, I gotta split push, man. I gotta get these lanes out. But Angel, I was just there to meet him. It was close to the Blink Lasso, but didn't quite have the backup there. It's just, even if he leaves the base, he gets like 3-4 waves and then back to the well.
It's a nightmare, you know, LD. You're playing in this sort of game and the enemy has a Bat Rider. It's a freaking nightmare.
Yeah, they have a bat, and their carries are stronger than like any one of your heroes. So if there's a bat +1, you just die. And you're not strong enough in 5-man to force the issue. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing, you know, when we talk about the only way C9 can win is when LGD knocks on the front door and then team wipe them. And look at LGD, we're just like, I'm gonna farm, just farm the whole map because we are controlling the whole map. Just wait for the next rush. We don't even want to push your high ground and just give a chance for you to come back. You're just minimizing the chance of C9 coming back into the game. So now, if you're C9, you're like, okay, we have to go up because they are not gonna knock on our door. They're gonna wait for the next Aegis, and they're controlling the map. So probably the chances are they're gonna get the next Roshan uncontested.
well, C9 want to stop that. They are smoked, but this is looking a bit obvious. Top lane, getting close to the base, mid lane at the river, nothing being defended, and LGD are just heading bottom.
Look at it. Yeah, just look at LGD. They're just totally running. They know they're coming in, and they're just going to go into their enemy jungle and just hope for C9, one of the retreating C9. Just look at the position of the map, the creeps. So C9 has to spray up now to take the creep wave out of their river, or out of their base, out of their side of the map. So if the Bat Rider at this point finds anyone in the jungle, it's free kill. So he's actually moving himself into a right position to take advantage if C9 makes a faulty mistake right now. But C9 are not making it, so they are all still continuously grouping up as 5 because that's generally how you play against Bat Rider. You can't split yourself up, otherwise you get caught.
Yeah, speaking of Bat, plate mail up. It could be that Assault Cuirass to help deal with the Elder Titan aura. Could be a Shivas.
Shivas. I think it's just Shivas, like on a Bat Rider, you wouldn't get Assault Cuirass unless it's just...
Well, there's Elder Titan though. Like, I feel like AC wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad, but because like the way the hero works, you jump in, you want the Shivas to give vision, so you can know exactly everyone's exact... It's just too good on Bat Rider.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we see an AC on the Morphling. As it's something that we've seen as a last item on Morphling players against Elder Titan in the past, but it really doesn't matter, honestly. Like, they're just so big.
I think they're just too far ahead for that to matter. C9's chances are like 1 to probably 90%. It's like 90 on LGD now and 10 on C9, the win ratio. Chances of winning because it's just highly unlikely that C9 gets the fight they want. We've been theorizing how the fight will go. Oh, this guy drops his golem, he slows them in the AoE, there's Elder Titan aura, Viper will be throwing Viper strikes left, Viper strikes right, Envy will be stealing Morphing's damage. Oh, perfect. Lion gets a Hex on and they just kill everyone.
Not to mention the Golem is not very good at 44 minutes against Ember and Morphling.
It just dies. Like, it's like a primal split now, useless.
Yeah.
Okay, it's worse than a primal split actually.
Yeah, definitely worse, but it doesn't help that he hasn't found any farm. We mentioned like this Blink Dagger guy is probably not going to get another item. I thought he would get another item for what 44 minutes, Winter, to be honest. But
I told you he's never gonna get an item.
This is the poorest I've ever seen at UI 2000.
It's not even his fault.
Yes,
it's just like the way this hero works. If you don't get towers, you're not getting money as a support.
Yeah, he's not getting kills, he's not getting towers, and the hero doesn't farm.
Okay, you try to farm, but I mean you can try to farm, but it's just way too slow.
It just seems one more Roach, and then I'd be very surprised if LGD don't go for it.
This is the game-ending Roach. Cheese on the Morphling, I assume Aegis on the Ember.
And they'll have the buyback Remnant back in as well for Yao to work with.
Fuck,
30
just whatever you want to say. Everything they have basically every single thing. Oh, they're actually gonna give the cheese to the Ember. I didn't expect that. And
well, he can buy back Remnant in, so I think that's a little bit better.
It's just that the chances of Morphling, like someone surviving if getting caught, is Morphling has a higher chance of surviving. So if the cheese was on the Morphling and the cheese was on the Ember, that's how I feel. It's been actually... it's not that big of a difference though in the end of the day, but I mean it's just a small thing.
Well, whatever their weapon of choice is, LGD have got plenty to select from the arsenal.
Here comes the Bat Rider.
And they'll lead with Cylon. They'll keep Yao in reserve for this one.
He's gonna burn up from the highs on the left side of the map, I think. He's gonna come in from here, maybe. Just waiting. Anyone he gets is just whatever, just even Beta.
He's not caught again, but he's a little bit slow to go for the lasso. Does get caught, and now it's the 4-step out. This may delay the push a bit.
Yeah, he blinks slightly, not in like the range, because of the range. It's very short on the lasso. You need to be exactly correct position to get the lasso. There's no room for mistakes. It's not like the old lasso.
Well, the drums are on the floor. Glitch is just carrying around Yao's drums at this point. He's at that stage where he can pick up a big item and he'll be ferried back to the well for sale.
This is just an insult for MMI, your working career.
Carry my drum, slave. Yeah, Yao is a merciless dictator.
And do you know in Chinese what do they call their supports? They call their supports sauce. Basically oyster sauce or soy sauce. They call them jiangyu. Jiangyu is like oyster sauce or soya sauce. They just call them, basically they are the condiments that make
the condiments to the meal, oh my god.
Yeah, so they call them jiangyu. The carries are like the main dish and the supports are the sauce.
Hey, but sometimes I've had a lot of meals where they're not very good if you don't have your sauce, so
Yeah, the sauce actually
Maybe the sauce is the most important ingredient after
Yeah,
all.
that's why when you have sauces like Fenrir and FY that, you know, make the meals good.
I mean, anybody can just grab a hunk of chicken, but to make a good piece of chicken, you need those supports.
Seasoning.
We're learning important things here while we wait for the death ball.
Impending death.
And it's going to be the exact same point of attack from Injuly. Straight from the north, going for the Blink Lasso. No, just scouting with Firefly. And Envy trying to split push, but he'll go in again.
He's going to see somebody.
That Lion blinks out immediately. They're not going to find the opening with the Lasso, but they'll just settle for taking the base without it. Sylar cleans up one Rax, now going on the melee, and these buildings are just getting shredded. C9 has to go in, but they can't go in.
Envy's just TPing back to base. He just arrived. Got his refresher.
And now he's running straight back top. Oh no, okay, he's getting the
refresher.
refresher. Gotcha.
He's gonna have like double Shivas, I don't know, man. He's still gonna die really quick against the physical damage of the Ember and the Morphling, though.
Yeah, it's looking bad, Winter. I don't think there's any other way to put it.
This is just one of those games where you're pushing lineup and enemy has Tinker and they cannot end the game quick enough, then you just die a slow death.
I guess they are testing LGD's stamina a bit here, just forcing them to take so long to end the game, or at least go for the attempt.
If I'm C9, I'm just like, I'm gonna make them work for that. Oh, here goes the bat again. He missed on his lasso. He's not gonna be able to lasso anyone. Gets Viper striked out.
And Sylar's going in all by himself, but he just slaps Pylite die. Oh, the Manta is forced out. They'll lose the Aegis for this one.
He bullies the source of C9.
Buys back, but the team's still waiting in reserve. Sylar's gonna take all damage, gets zapped again! They actually kill him! They find the Golem and MMY. The fight's falling apart for LGD. They've lost through 2 as well as the Aegis, so now they've got to retreat out. Yao zipping away. The rest of the team scatters.
That was what they have been waiting for, but LGD only gave them after 48 minutes.
Winter in July has been magnificent this entire game, but those last 2 jumps, they just haven't been quite on point.
That 2 jumps was like no vision, so he basically just tried to guess, and he just jumped in because he had BKB, and hoping he actually jumped into the right position. That was risky by him, but because they were far ahead, so he was feeling confident with that.
Don't call it a comeback, but hey man. One more death by the Morphling if he's forced to use buyback to defend this.
Yeah, it's gonna be dangerous. A Morphling buys the AC pass item.
Yeah, actually in that fight I think it was the shotgun that really hurt him. The Dagon after the Ethereal Blade.
He got Fingered and Dagon and Elder Titan Aura, so I mean he took like gazillion damage there.
That sounds like the exact number he took. 1 gazillion.
We have to check with Brian whether I got the number right this time.
Yeah, well, he's shaking his head, so... He's not shaking his head, I'm just making shit up. Well, Cloud9, hey, if they can take another good fight like that, catch LGD out and prevent Injuly from getting the jump.
That wasn't them catching LGD out, to be honest. It was the Morphing trying to be a Superman.
Yeah.
He went 1v5 there, basically.
That's true. But, I mean, it's more like if Injuly just can't find a jump and then the team feels like they have to go help him. They could have just left him there and
yeah, he was fine. He got out. He already got out.
Yeah. But even if he dies, it's like, it's not the biggest deal.
Just lose the gem, I guess.
Yeah. Throwing away the Aegis, though, that does hurt. And now LGD will smoke.
I think he made the Lion use buyback or something. Yeah, Lion use buyback because of that.
Yeah. And, I mean, normally you'd say, to support this late, it's not the most important thing, but this Lion is very important. They need this lockdown.
This Lion is
Here we go. Here we go. On to Envy. Jumping in. It's a bit of bait. The backup is coming, and he's at half health. Quickly brought down. Couldn't pop that BKB in the end. He almost had the refresher available as well. And now they start chasing forward. Bone 7 just gets shredded. Sylar is hitting like Godzilla himself. Blink away from AUI, trying to live, but one more wave forward. Gets that next kill. And it seems finally they found just the tiniest opening. And LGD barged through onto the tier 4, straight for the throne. Why waste time when you could just go to game 2?
He has buyback soon, in like a few go. He's gonna buy back, I think. He's gonna buy back.
They better buy back instantly. Double buyback, forced out. Now the Blink Impale, nicely done catching out 2, but Morphling goes in again. Doesn't have BKB though. That means he's probably going down here. Forced to have to wait multiple times. Mantine can't make his way out still. He does a buyback, but he can't really get back into the fight quickly. The Scarlet Mage falls as well, and the Chain Cross slows down the pursuit. And in the end, they lose 3. They get 3, or sorry, actually 4 with the double buyback. But Cloud9, hang on. Can they force out this Morphly buyback though? That's the big question.
Yeah, 60 seconds, maybe they can reach the front door though, but Bad Rider can always fire 15 seconds of Firefly, he can always take away 1 creep wave with Firefly. So I don't think they'll be able to force.
And they're fighting against mega creeps as well, or big creeps.
Bad Rider, you need to go Firefly middle, safe, the buyback. Go.
He's headed that direction.
He needs to go now. He really needs to go now if he wants to make it on time. Is that
They,
Roche?
wait, so they
Roche
also
is
have an Ember with a double data list, so
yeah,
he may be able
Roche
to clear the
is
wave himself.
Yeah, true. Roche is coming. Soon. Oh my god. Oh, he just blinked out. He's not gonna be able to see the Roche coming.
He has prepped a bit of Firefly, and the creeps will start to drop. Flame breaked into it. They'll be brought down almost instantly by the Ember, and they couldn't really jump in quick enough to prevent him from getting that Sleight of Fist off. So C9 wait just outside the Dire base, just looking for an opening. And hoping for a Roche, but they don't get that either. Still a minute to go on that respawn.
I actually read that timer wrong. Did they change it or something? Okay. I thought it was Aegis thing.
It's like, it seems like it's angled to the side now. I think it used to be straight on. But
Yeah, I remember it wasn't like this. Maybe today's patch changed it.
I think they like just turned it, but it's still the same. I don't know.
So how long is it?
I think it's a minute and about a minute.
I have no idea how you're reading this. Whatever.
Between the 20,000 viewers in the Twitch chat, someone will probably be able to read it for you, Winter. So I highly recommend checking the chat in a second. But 54 minutes in, LGD, they still haven't been able to crack C9's base fully. They got that first lane of racks. They got a tier 4. But C9 have been stubborn as hell. And they're not ready to give up just yet. They'll continue scouting the Roach Pit. It's very close to coming up. And Sylar's sending illusions in to scout this out. Everybody's spotted here, but nobody's ready to rumble. And that means if Cloud9 back off, this Roach is going to drop very quickly to a Morphly with this much farm. But they can keep on scouting it, and they'll do it now.
Aegis, yeah, you give the Aegis to the Ember, the Cheese to the Lich and the Skyrath. That's weird.
Yeah, and make sure that Sylar has the buyback, I guess, at that point. And Yao as well. But he does have Boots of Travel, so if he needs to buy back, he can come back in with a fresh life. And I think from here, the only thing we can really see is a fresh BKB. That's about all he can buy. Could maybe get rid of his Manta or Ethereal Blade and go for some more like pure right click, but generally you just want to get that quick shotgun kill.
Thinking there's nothing much you can change really, apart from getting a Skadi maybe.
Do we want to? Is this where you even look towards like your 6-7 slotted Morphling, get a Necro 3, or?
Maybe you just keep the courier next to you, pop BKB, then put the BKB on the courier, then take the next item.
Yeah. It feels like that can work in certain situations, but
too much micro.
Yeah, you're like wasting precious seconds when the team fight is decided. Even if you're quick, oftentimes just a second can be too much.
If only you can set some console stuff to do it.
Well, Yao has dropped his cheese. He's gonna leave it on the ground. Not sure who's gonna take it, but if C9 want to fight this, they gotta go right now.
The support's gonna take it. Yao is gonna get the Aegis, and the other cheese will be on the support. Oh no, Faith, don't take it, don't stack it.
They'll give it to MMY? Yeah.
Yeah, both the supports. The Jiangyu, the sauce. With the cheese now. The sauce has cheese now.
So now we're looking at Yao, who can buy back Remnant in, and also has the Aegis. That's 3 lives right there. Sylar's got the Boots of Travel buybacks. That's another 5. That's 5 lives total. Call it 6 lives with the cheese on MMY and the hero as well. 7, 9 with Faith's cheese, and then you've got that with just the 1 life. I think can Boots of Travel buyback just barely.
She can Boots of Travel, I think.
I think this is the full 10 lives, technically. If you count cheese as an extra life, I would call this 10 lives.
The 10 lives versus what, 5 lives?
It's C9 might have a few buybacks. No, actually they have Elder Titan, so it's 10v6.
Okay.
And then they've got illusions for Sylar.
This is a numerical advantage.
They have the numerical advantage.
It's not fair.
And they could maybe look at the other lanes, but they're not going to do that. Inzalai going in with the BKB can't get anyone with the lasso once again. Forced to back out. And now the rocket's dropped, and they want to counter-initiate. Eternal Envy jumping right on the top of the team. popping the BKB, the double ultimate, and then begins to chase Yao. Quickly dropping in July, they will lose the Batrider. No lasso to start this fight. Sylar backing off, but the Ember going in, finds a big crit, cleans up the Warlock, everybody almost dead, forced off the fight. Fada dropped low, nearly clean up, just one more shotgun would do the trick, and they get the adaptive strike. Down he goes. Bone 7 now, isolated. With all that farm, doesn't matter, just melts. And this time it's going to be game. The throne's down, and Eternal Envy has nothing really to stand against this. No more ultimates, no way out. C9, take it 57 minutes, but it felt like it was over at 25. And LGD just got to kill Envy one more time. About to fall, they'll call the GG, and LGD up 1-0 in the best of 3, Winter.
Yeah, this is, you said, very good. Sort of a much cleaner game compared to how BG played their game. Looking very good.
Yeah, a few initiations that were off by in July, but like I wouldn't necessarily say they were sloppy. Like you say, you didn't have vision sometimes, it's hard to land. Viper is really good against that if you don't catch him, because he can just ult you and you're not going to be able to get anyone.
The last one was definitely his fault. The last one, he could have actually, yeah, he had blink off cooldown. He basically just like, oh crap, this might not work. But actually, I think he could have still gotten a lasso on one of them. Anyone, doesn't matter really who he lassos, and just bring him back, even though he has. I mean, I feel he was already going to die in that situation, so
yeah.
Might as well just do something.
Well, on that note, Windsor, LGD looking solid, up 1-0, and what would you say is like the biggest key for Cloud9 to come back heading into game number 2?
Probably play some of their greedy strats instead of, this is not something they play, you know.
Okay, so you just don't think that's the right kind of style for them, basically?
I mean, they can, if they can execute it better, maybe.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I think,
Either better execution or new strats.
I think
that's like every possible way to...
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they don't usually... Maybe they've changed already, so I'm not sure. With Veta in their team, they're probably more sticking towards, like, getting the mech early and just pushing. But it feels like C9, when I talk about C9, when I hear C9, it's just... The first word that pops out in my mind is greed.
Yeah, greed and late game as well, but... Didn't see it here. It's a new team with Fada, and maybe it's just a new approach. We'll have to see if they make adjustments. Game 2 is coming up next, guys. You're watching WEC, brought to you by Beyond the Summit. For the other match, Na'Vi versus lgd.cdec, you can head over to BTS2. We'll see you soon for game number 2.